Thank you for coming. My name is Ignacio, and this is the second book that I wrote in the Eight Escudos. Initially, it was to be an extension of the first book, but it grew into a comprehensive work in its own right. I discovered the Eight Escudos a long time ago while I was searching for gold as a safe haven, more as a refugee than an investment. And after dealing with bullion coins and historic coins, I realized a couple of things. First one is the Eight Escudos were an ideal coin because of the high demand, rich content, and fascinating stories. They combine the aspects that I was searching, a way to safeguard a capital in gold. The coin, the Eight Escudos coin, is big, is substantial, visually appealing. It has around 90% of purity. And it makes it attractive since the investment point of view. Has a high demand and a solid reputation, and of course steeped in history and stories. In a nutshell, it's a way to preserve wealth while enjoying a process of collecting gold coins. However, and this is the second point, there was a but, and I recognized quickly that there was needed a learning period. But if you study the conservation and understood the markets, sometimes you could acquire nice coins that will have a potential future revaluation. That insight led me to embrace the Eight Escudos as the focus of my collection. There is a strong demand, can vary from time to time, but it is strong, and the historical significance is notorious. And while there can be a certain romanticism, it's clear that the attraction to this coin is not only for its beauty, but for its reputation and for the stories they embody. Just remember that the Eight Escudos was the world coin of choice during the 17th, 18th, and 19th centuries. They even serve as a model for the American doubloon from Ephraim Brasher, the Phillips V, 1742 Lima style. Spain, its currency, held a high reputation, and with the American provinces, Spain became a world dominant power. In that time, no coins could compete with the Eight Escudos. Over time, you had the Portuguese dobras, the English 5 guineas, but they were too scarce. The French Louis d'Or was not stable in weight, and that was in contrast with the gold minted in Popayán, Nuevo Reino, Mexico, and Lima, which was abundant. And so the same thing for the silver in Mexico and Potosí mainly. When I developed my passion for the Eight Escudos, I was astonished to see that there was no dedicated book. While the period of Charles IV can be a bit monotonous or quite boring, although I recommend most collectors to begin with, there are truly captivating eras to explore. The diversity from Ferdinand VII is absolutely incredible. Even the mint from Santiago alone, it's very varied. From Charles III, there are exclusive portraits as well, and it showcases the downgrade of its purity from 917 to 875. More interesting can be Philip V and Ferdinand VI, though they can be very, very pricey. In 1728, we have the transition from the Jerusalem cross till the bust of the king with a long hair wig, and these coins will be much sought after. They will be called peluconas in Spanish. We will have as well cops hammered in the New World. We have as well the macacos in Guatemala, and of course the royals, which are not for everybody's pocket. Looking back to the Habsburgs, we find the beauty of the Segovia milled ounces, in contrast with the ones from Madrid and Sevilla by hammer. We have as well some issues very, very interesting, that will be the ounce of Pamplona, the ounce of Mallorca, and the 8 escudos that Jorge was mentioning before, the 8 escudos, the illegal stars of Lima, 1659, 1660. Also, we start late in the century the Mexico and Lima coins, gold coins, 8 escudos. Fast forward to 1824, Spain loses the provinces in America and they become independent, but they continue to mint coins in the same module, 8 escudos, 27 grams, with the same purity. The stories behind these coins are also very interesting, since still some countries will depict the same king's image out of necessity during the first period. The new designs that will emerge after, they will be, in my opinion, impressive. Okay, why have I written a book on the 8 escudos? I will give three main reasons. The first one is because I love the subject. I am passionate in researching every aspect of the 8 escudos. The second one is clearly the lack of literature existing, and I really believe that there was a need for a comprehensive study. And the third one was a spark, the catalyst needed. It came through an emotional strike, and from that I decided a couple of things. First one is to specialize completely in 8 escudos, and the second, try to keep the notes I have been collecting through the years into a book format. It was hard work, many hours, but this project was a reason of joy in life to me. And in time, the book came out much how I had envisioned, and the feedback was positive. Many collectors told me, have I seen your book before? Maybe some of my pieces I wouldn't have purchased. So to me, mission was accomplished, and I was happy and satisfied. However, I was still in the mood to continue writing, and keep learning, of course. And one moment I saw that I really could improve it much more. There was still demand for the book, and I envisioned firstly that adding 100 pages with bigger images and a bit more information I have acknowledged, it could be enough. But each time I had better and better ideas, and I was learning too much. So it grew till I found some stops. Then I spoke with Agustin because I wanted to know the vision of an auction house in US regarding the 8 Escudos. And he expressed his interest in my project and generously offered his help and asked me what did I need. And that was kind of gates of heaven open for me. And I said, there are things I do not know, and I will need some people to help me through some subjects. He introduced me great numismatics and even wonderful persons. And it's true, their contribution made a tremendous difference. I was thinking that my work was reasonably good, but it became truly exceptional. And I'm immensely grateful. It's true, the first book was essential to me to create the second, and I take great pride in the result. I believe it's comprehensive and useful, although it reflects my perspective that does not need to align with traditional or contemporary views. What does the book contain? Okay, it contains history, details on creations, relevant laws, royal orders, types, expert commentary, and chronologically overview. It explores types, mints, engravers, and production quantities. Grading. I have a new proposal for grading. Rather than the circulation, the conservation details, I will propose the attractiveness of the coin. And I know that it can be a bit subjective, but I think not completely. I may be mistaken in some assessments, but I believe that the market is erring in certain valuations. And I'll put you a very simple example. I know that I could buy blindly a Morgan dollar MS6364. I know what it is. But if you tell me, I have an 8 Escudos MS60, honestly, I do not know what to expect exactly. Will it have some defects or not? I'm not sure of what I am expecting. And it's crucial for collectors and buyers to understand the reality of the coins they acquire. I think they need to understand the graduation themselves. I can understand a coin that has a high valuation, high grading, MS60, whatever, and it's filled with defects. I understand it has not circulated, right? But what I would prioritize always is that the coin is attractive. And my approach is very straightforward. I believe that the virtues add and the defects subtract. I will take the conservation as the initial points. For example, if I have a coin that has not circulated, I will give him 90 points. And the rest of the 10 points under a 100 points scale will be luster, brightness, color, and strong print. That are the mainly features that I recognize for a coin to distinguish between the others. And of course, the defects are subtracting. It can have flaws, it can have planchets, voids, blanks, cracks, carbon spot, lamination, scratches, dings, bumps, circulation marks, and scratches. And of course, manipulation not accidental, like jewel reuse, graffiti, all this stuff. I provide in the book as well some collecting insights, the difference between investment and collection. Investment and valuation. I provide, I will say, for almost all 8 Escudos, that I didn't do it in the first book because of lack of knowledge. Some tables for pricing, which is a bit, it can be obsolete, but the main important thing is the rarity. The type classification is complete, all by kings, Habsburgs and Bourbons, and the independent republics, with cops and royals. And also I cover the proclamation medals in the same 8 Escudos module. Counterfeits, of course, and additional data like the etches, curiosities, rarities, errors, XRF. I guess we must focus mainly in rarity, because the price, it can depend on the circumstantial demand. The book includes as well advice for beginners and more experienced collectors. There are some advices from a collection for 50 years from Gregorio Tulemonde, and the psychology of the collectionist, of the collector, from Agustin Garcia. Who is this book for? I will say this book is a nice resource for collectors in 8 Escudos. And you can find a lot of information, rare photos, oddities, details. I could highlight, for example, the 1828 Escudos from Popayan, which is a repainted piece that you can find, you can even think that it's a counterfeit, but it's not. An incredible study of the Admiral, from Santiago's Admiral, from my friend Matthias. The orientation of the Toison, errors in the legends, and features of exceptionally rare pieces and first-class collections, like the Segarra one. I hope these books can help the collectors to avoid costly mistakes which are totally disheartening. It's a 700 pages, 2 volumes, and I believe it weighs 4 kilos or around 9 pounds. The feedback that I've been given is truly overwhelmingly positive. Many people express me their delight, and I'm immensely grateful about that. Anyway, I don't want to convince anyone. If you have any doubts for this book, possibly it's not for you. The persons who have bought it are really, really happy. In closing, I would like to express my gratitude to all the numismatics that have helped me along the way, from whom I learned invaluable lessons. And I will also extend my thanks to the auction house from which I'm client, And I will mention particularly Aureo Calico, Jesus Vico, and of course Daniel Franz Sedwick, who have supported me in bringing this book to fruition. A very, very special mention as well to Gregorio Tulemonde and Agustin García Bernat. Thank you very much.